I'm really happy to be able to say that the titanium Firebox is finally in production. If you follow me on social media, you know that I've been using this prototype, this titanium 5-inch Firebox, all camping season. So I think maybe we'll grill our steak first.
He will catch with this, and then he will.
Okay, let's cover it. Stainless steel is more apt to absorb heat and dissipate heat, whereas titanium, because of its low conductivity, it's going to be reflecting that much more heat back into the fire. The most important consideration for me on this stove was weight. I didn't want to beef up the material or use stainless steel parts. I didn't want to make these compromises that would make it weigh more. This is half the weight of the stainless steel version, and the way we were able to achieve that is the titanium itself is about 40% lighter, but then this stove is actually a thinner gauge of material. The anti-warping measures that we've taken with this stove seem to have made a bigger difference than what the thickness of material made. There's an offset, and what that does is it just misdirects or redirects the expanding material. So we have another expansion suspension in this hole pattern. So as this hottest part of the stove gets bigger with expansion, the expansion is directed to these points, and on the other side of these points is a void. So that absorbs much of the expansion. You may see a little bit of cupping, like this area right here is slightly bulged upward. The other place you'll probably notice a little movement is on the fire grate itself. Now what mine has done here is, if I angle this towards the cameras, you can see that the edges, there is a bow downwards at the edges. But if you look in the center, it actually seems to bow upward, which has proven to be a shape that really gives it quite a bit of strength. So it still folds. Let me show you how it folds. So, and I've shown this in other videos as I've been testing this stove, but you can see that it does spring open just a little bit. But that's not an issue, because when you close it up, you do have the ash pan still clips on, and you still have the fire sticks that still hold it closed. There seems to be a little bit of twist in the panels, because when I'm putting the grill plate on, I have to, when I use the fire stick to do it, I can't just go straight. I have to kind of push it to the side a little bit and down at the same time to get it into position. It does remain malleable, so if you see a panel that looks like its shape is changing, you can, with your hands, you can just gently, softly make adjustments. And one adjustment you will likely want to make is the gap where the fire grate comes into contact with this panel. So if that becomes gappy, then you'll want to just push down on these hinges just a little bit, and once again, just very gently with your hands, you can make minor adjustments like that. And then you can make that fit exactly the way you want it to fit. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the titanium grill plate. I've used this grill plate only twice. I kept the heat a little bit on the lower side, and I was really careful to have my food on the grill when the grill was at its hottest. I haven't noticed any warping at all with this, and I think that's because I have been really quite careful with it.